Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're working on the door. We got to cut a section out of the bottom of the door to get it to line up to the front cowl. After we get it fitting up to the front cowl, we got to move on to the rear cab corner. And basically on the cab corner, we have to just get it fitting right against the door and get it tacked on, and we can manipulate it any way we need to make it line up to the rear body line, which, hate to say it, the rear body line isn't the most important thing. We really just need it to fit that door gap perfectly, so it makes sense to do it that way. But let's get to work. So after we got that section cut out from the bottom of the door, we kept pushing up the bottom of the door and taking measurements, because we found measurements online for a replacement panel that we could have bought for that section, and we just kept trying to get it closer and closer to that measurement that we found online, and it seemed to help out a lot. But it's still a little off. We still have a little bit of trimming to do. We went through and made some cuts. And I mean, it's already fitting a lot better. We still got some more we could take out. But honestly, we're honestly thinking, see, it starts like right here, being a little high, and probably a little bit of our issues, we replaced this panel, and we probably should have had the door on, and of course we didn't, so we might have to make some adjustments in the hinges, because Dad said he saw a video the other day when they did that, because we're having issues with it fitting here. And we've adjusted everywhere we can. And this back here, it's fitting like it's supposed to. Because before, it was coming down and going like at an angle down. It was supposed to come and flatten off at the bottom. You can see where Dad made the cut right there. And you probably can't see it through there, but we had to take quite a bit out. But it was coming out from right here and coming way out. But we're probably still going to take some more material off and push in a little bit more. But I mean, I was worried after making those last cuts. It just seemed like a lot of material. But that's looking so much better. So Dad went through and got everything welded. For the most part, he hasn't cleaned everything up. we left the ends not welded. Just in case it ain't right again, we can just slice it again. But it's not welded here. We just tacked it in a few places, and it actually, where we didn't have it tacked enough, it actually came down on one side. So that's something else we're going to have to address shortly. But that's what it's looking like. Here shortly we're going to put it back on the truck to see what that gap looks like. And we're still probably going to take a dolly in here and hold it underneath and try to get this to smooth out some. But as of right now, that's what we're working with. So we're going to have to go through and probably mess with these hinges, because at the top we have this big, it's like in, and it needs to come out. And if you look up here, it also needs to go up. There's a big gap here, and of course the same there, and of course that's still there. But it's like that needs to go in, and this needs to come out. So somehow you can either cut or heat or throw heat at these hinges and bend them however you need it to go. So I guess that's our next step, because it ain't going the way we wanted it to. But we still have to get on new hardware, because we only have one bolt for the top. The rest of them are messed up. So we're going to go through and score this. And the way we understand it is, for this side to come out, you need to score it and bend this hinge that way. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's what the bending guide said. Then for this one to come in, we need to score it and bend it that way to bring it inward. And I hope that scoring guide's right, because it sounds bass backwards. So we messed with the hinges, got it fitting pretty decent. It's looking a lot better than it did. This gap was huge right there. It was sitting way in, and all the way around, it's came out a lot. And all we did was score the hinges, and Dad bent them. But it's a heck of a lot better than it was. But this piece that we put in, it's like it's arced right here, and it goes towards the door. So may have to cut and push it in or something. And down at the bottom, there's the slightest gap, but we also made the inner structure that goes in behind that piece, and maybe we made it push in too far. So we might have to address that as well. But it's looking a lot better than it did. Now we'll get back onto the cab corner.